Hey guys, Cory here with Co-op Couple. If you remember my last RPG Maker tutorial video, we went into a little bit of detail about mapping. Today we will be talking about events. Events are the backbone of any game, so we'll be covering them extensively. Today I'm just going to be going over some of the basics. So first of all, if you would like to create an event, you have to first make sure that you're on the event icon over here, either by clicking on this little figure, this little character, or hitting F6 on your keyboard. This will open up the event editor, and then you can just double click on a tile to create an event. Now you can choose to make your event either a character by choosing a graphic. You can choose a variety of different options. They don't even have to be characters. They can be part of your tile sets. So you can click a skeleton. To actually start making an event, you would have to go into Contents, double click it, and then you'll have your event commands. So your event commands, there are 3 pages of them, and I'm not going to go over all of them at the moment. This is just going to be a basic overview. You have the show text, show choices. Basically they're just broken down into a bunch of different parts. I'll be going over them semi-individually, covering several of them in different videos. The most important ones are obviously going to be the message ones, and then the game progression ones, as well as flow control. But you'll probably be using all of them in your game. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a simple message event in which if the character, your player's interaction occurs with this particular graphic, it will trigger a text event. We'll just use hello. Apply that. You can see that it enters in the event in the contents. So to actually make this event work, we would need to select a trigger. The triggers are either action button, player touch, event touch, auto run, and parallel process. So player touch is basically if the player runs into the event, it will trigger the event. Action button means you'll have to press the action button, which is I believe X on the keyboard. Event touch is if this event is moving and it touches your player, the event will trigger. The auto run means that this is the first event that will run and no events can run until its completion. Parallel process means that it will continue to run in the background. Say for example, you have like a rain event that's going on or some type of weather event, you'll want that as a parallel process. So what we'll go ahead and do is we have that as our event. We'll put our player start position as here. We'll go ahead and test run it and see what it looks like. Okay, so there's one thing that I had forgotten. What we'll have to do to make this event actually run is for the priority of this event, we'll have to set it to same as characters. What that means is the player can be next to the event and then press the action button, which is Z on the keyboard. Because if it's below characters, your character will have to be standing over it and then pressing the action button in order for this to occur. And then above characters means that it'll have to be above the character, which we'll get to in a later video. So for right now, we'll go ahead and set it as same as characters, hit OK, and we'll go ahead and run. So as you can see, when you press the Z key next to the event, it just says hello, which isn't too terribly exciting. So let's go ahead and give this event a little more detail. So what you can go ahead and do, just we're going to stick with the first page. We can just do some show choices, and then we'll do yes or no. So once you do show choices, basically you would do this kind of in possibly in a shopkeeper setting, or if somebody's asking you a question. If the shopkeeper asks you, do you want to buy an item, you can do yes or no. When yes, obviously it would open up a shop window or something like that, which I'll go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. Okay, so we have shop processing here, and you can choose what goods that they're going to be selling. Let's make it simple. We'll do a potion, high potion. That's good enough for now. And then you can select it to where if you do purchase only, you won't be able to sell your items in the shop. So if it's just a person who's selling items and they're not buying items, you'll just do that and that'll be fine. So let's go ahead and run this and see what it looks like now. So when you hit no, it ends the event. When you hit yes, you can basically open up the shop and buy to your heart's content. He's only selling 2 items, so we're not interested in that, plus we have no money. So let's say you wanted to give your player some money. What would you do? Alright, well, first of all, what you would do is you would insert by right-clicking the first event, and then just click insert, and we're going to change the party gold to increase by a constant of, let's say, 500. Now you could also do a variable. Basically, I'm going to definitely cover variables in another video, but it would be increasing your gold through a variable operation that you currently have set. So we'll go ahead and stick with constants. Do apply. And we can click yes. And you see over here we have 500 gold. That is because at the start of the event we receive 500 gold from this little skeleton here. But if you talk to him again, you'll see that it increased to 1,000. That's because every time we talk to him, the event triggers to give us 500 gold each time. So you might not necessarily want that. So you can definitely change that in a number of different ways, which I'll show you in another video. This video is just meant to cover some, basically how you start an event and kind of what they're used for. They're basically the bread and butter of your game, and we'll be covering them in extreme detail in later videos.